blue tunic. I feel like this feels better to blend in. I like the blue tunic. I just like the blue coloring. Red just feels a little too like maroon. It feels too dark for my likings at times. And every time I play this game, I don't really just put on the red tunic at all. I usually just leave the blue tunic on because I feel like that's a kind of like how the. It's kind of like how you get the blue tunic in the Link to the Past, where you just you constantly wear that. You don't really switch it off once you get it. So you have to follow the way through here, and you find out you get yourselves to Milo is here.
What are you? Though you don't wear curious clothing, you can't fool me. I promised Saria I would never let anyone go through here.
So you need to play Saria's song here. Let's see. They'll play the Lost Woods theme, and you can get Mido's trust in this. And we get Mido gets a kind of like a character arc here.
That melody. Saria played that song all the time. How do you know Saria? That song. Saria taught that song only to her friends. Okay, I trust you. When I see you, I don't know why, but I remember him.
And so he kind of feels bad in that regard. When I see you, I don't know, but I remember him. Maybe because I wear Kikori's clothing, I guess? Okay, that's the right play. Alright, we're going ourselves to the to the manor we got before. We know where Saria was or she wants to be to? Because she's actually trapped here. The Sacred Forest Meadow. Now for some reason this time around, the map is going to basically put you in a first, like a, not a top-down perspective like before. But we can circumvent this in direction a little bit. Now, this is the only time in the game where the Moblin enemy is set to appear. Even though this game, even Moblins were shown a lot in the promotion art for the promotional for this game back in the day. But, let's see, if I can get, if I see Navi fly away here, we might be able to get Pierre to show up. Come on, Pierre. There's our Moblin friend right there. But I want to get up to, say, like, right here, where Navi's gonna fly up. We just do this here. Oh, I did it wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. We put our Scarecrow song to work. And Pierre shows up on top of the maze. And now, we can use this to get above the maze. And so now we get to see the Moblins in a very simple, easy way. Now, the Moblins basically die in one hit. It's never really understood why the Moblins show up here. It's probably due to Ganon's magic or something like that. But at the same time, these guys are like very not a threat. And they have lower polymorphs than probably everybody else in the game. So it's obviously somewhat later on down the line, these guys weren't very much an enemy that could be used very well around the world. Because they do kind of look a little bit more low poly in that regard. But again, this is like the only time they show up, and they're kind of deadly. So they'll basically knock you out if they see you, which means you have to sneak up on enemies. But basically, using your hook shot will basically kill them in one hit. And you're normally not supposed to do this, but again, if you have the Scarecrow song, you can circumvent this kind of set piece to a certain degree. Because now we have to deal with this guy here, which he will try to shoot this kind of shockwave to you. You just have to move back around a little bit to make sure you avoid the shockwave, because he'll try to shoot you in the way to error. And then we can just hit him. And he goes down by 2 swipes with the Biggoron sword. That's right. And he drops 20 rupees for you. Nice! I kind of like that. But we're not seeing Saria over here. Now, if you do contact Saria, Saria's song like this, she says she was called to the temple, and she's happy to hear your voice and everything, but she also said that she was called to the temple for something with no reason. But she knows that there's monsters everywhere. Oh, hi, Sheik. Hey, look at my Biggoron sword. You like how I'm holding it in one hand right here? Well, the flow of time is always cruel. Its speed seems different from each person. but no one can change it. A thing that doesn't change with time is a memory of younger days. In order to come back here again, play the Minuet of Forest. Alright, now we get our next, our third temple song. This song is probably the least useful of all of them, because you'd really have no incentive after this to go back to the Lost Woods for anything. It's kind of odd, honestly. I mean, it's a great tune and all that such, but again, it's like, I'm pretty sure these songs were probably meant to be something more originally in the original beta version of the game to a certain degree, but I feel like the songs are kind of just there. And I know that, like, later on, the songs themselves in Majora's Mask would be more useful in the future because they actually had usage. Here, they're just kind of warp songs that are just, you know, one said and done. Well, Sheik's gone, but now we can get ourselves into the temple, because Sheik would basically told us that we couldn't even get into this temple without the hook shot. So now that we've got a hook shot, we can now grab this tree here. And we can get ourselves into our first dungeon. We're now taking our second one because we completed the ice cavern early, but, you know, let's go. Welcome to the Forest Temple, everybody. And now we got Stalfos. These guys are not a pushover. Because basically you just hit them, since they hit them in the back, and they basically go down. But the Biggoron sword kind of basically makes almost every combat almost trivial at times. That's why we want to get it for the future. Now there is a gold sculpture up here, and you can... Now this dungeon, when I first played it, got me a little confused. Because I totally spaced out that there was a key up here. Because I didn't think you could climb these. I don't know why. But I went to, like, the entire dungeon, and ultimately, like, I'm missing a key somewhere, and I had to come all the way back here and find out there was a key here. And it's like, that's slight annoyance, but, I also got a gold sculpture here. Might as well grab it out of the sake of convenience. You destroyed a gold scutilla! You got the token! Now, there was something I didn't mention about the gold scutillas. Apparently, if you do not collect the token in time, which I don't know why you wouldn't collect the token in time, but apparently the gold sculpture will basically reappear and you have to kill it again. Which I think is kind of... Well, I guess that means they are, you know, they're magic spiders, you know, cursed spiders, so I guess that makes sense in the grand scheme of things. But this temple, I guess you want to... It's not even a temple. This place is a mansion. You know, I think this is before, you know, the Zelda designers decided to basically to have unique names for the dungeons. Instead of just, you know, it's Forest Temple, Fire Temple, Water Temple, you know, but we get, like, you know, Snow Peak Ruins. We get, you know, the Caverns here or something like that, unique names for all the places. But also, this has a bit of a weird reference. You have 4 Poes here that take their fire away from this elevator now, which we need to get into the very end. We have to defeat all 4 of these Poes. And I think this is the only temple to do so that has 4 mini-bosses to tackle. Alongside the one that has for the item in it. But these Poes are actually kind of a reference to a storybook called, I think it was called Little Women, I want to say. Basically there's like these 4 girls that are basically called like Beth and others and everything. And and in the game's code, they're all named like this. And you have to take them down one by one. Each one has your own kind of unique puzzle tied to them. Well, 2 of them do. 2 of them are just basically share each one another as their mirror image of each other. I am not completely sure. Ow! Also, we get an introduction to Bubbles for the first time ever. These guys, they don't have their cursed property like in Zelda 1. But, we also get an introduction to Stalfos. These little guys. These normally were Hylians at one point, but got cursed in the Lost Woods. Or maybe that these guys were just, or basically inhabitants of this mansion. Because I'm pretty sure this mansion was here before the forest came in. I want to know what this There's not really much history on this cursed mansion in the first place. It feels like it's more of a fortress, like it was like a primitive Hyrule castle before the Hyrule castle was fully formed. Or maybe there could have been like a fortress or something during the Civil War. Who knows what this could have been? Because it doesn't seem like this place is in ruins, you know, like other places would be, you know, where, you know, they've got, you know, ruined architecture everywhere. Like, it seems like everything in this dungeon feels like more, it's been preserved. I guess it's either by magic or maybe it's, you know, the dark energy around this place that's causing the place to feel more preserved than anything else. Because it does feel like anything here is nothing but basically been preserved and everything. Also, we have to deal with the, oh, I'm messing up the Song of Time. It's, why do I keep messing up that Song of Time? I should know this by now. I should know this song by now. Oh yeah, there we go. There we go. There we go. It's down, not up. There we go. So we got a Song of Time, and we got to move the blocks around. Now, speaking of this time blocks, Master Mode or Master Quest version of these dungeons are very unique and very tedious. Is that at one point or another, if you're playing Master Mode, this thing, the only really things that change in Master Mode is that the world is swapped. And it's, oh, I gotta put my sword away if I wanna, put my sword up. I can't put my sword away while I'm locked onto an enemy. That's really weird. Ow. Hey. I'm on at you. Gotta hit you like this. So stop hitting me like there. There you go. Take that, you Octorok. But, in Master Mode, the only really things that change in Master Mode is the gold sculptural locations and all the dungeons are basically remixed. Which means you're going a different path than you normally would in a said dungeon. And basically it forces you as the player to use items that you don't normally use enough. And I think the ice arrows are used to a certain degree here. In most of the dungeons, as well as Din's Fire. Because Din's Fire doesn't get used very much at all in this game. Like, I know the magic powers in this game are very good and everything, but they're hardly ever used, except for maybe like Nehru's Wisdom. But otherwise, though, like, the magical powers in this game are kind of a letdown. Because they're just not, again, there's not a lot of reason to use it, because you're going up against maybe one-on-one with enemies and not really doing very much with the mechanic of basically being mob ruled. But this, but I've only beaten Master Mode once, but that was on the 3DS. That's all it was, nothing more. And also the fact that 3DS version, they mirrored the world. I don't get why Nintendo thinks that mirroring a world is going to make it more difficult. I don't understand the reason behind mirror mode. It's like that in Mario Kart as well, where it's like, instead of, like, you know, new tracks or reverse mode or any of that sort, no, we're just gonna mirror the world in half, and that's it. You know, we're not gonna deal with that at all. Yep. Ow! Curse you! Curse you, plant! That's it. Come here. Now if you're supposed to lock onto this thing. How are you biting me from far away? Yeah, take that. Now I cut you to death. Yeah, you can grab Deku Sticks while Link's here, but that's about it. You can't do much of anything else. Like, Link cannot, adult Link can't use Deku Sticks, so there is no light fighting puzzles. Except if you're using fire arrows. Yeah, you don't mess with me. Hey! This guy's being annoying, is he? Yes, he is. You're being annoying because I want that gold sculpture that's right here, but I can't hit it because you are slight annoyance. Why don't you die? Thank you. Now, I believe there's a Scarecrow up here. I think Pierre does show up here, I believe. If you want to make a shortcut around the map. I want to say yes, but I could be wrong on that because Navi's flying up to there, which I imagine is where Pierre would show up. I will show up. I'll try to play the Scarecrow. Link, or me, myself, I want to get up there. Why can't I get up there? I'm hitting the chest like I did before. Now it's like, nope. And now I'm having the trouble locking onto this thing. If there's one thing about the N64 control stick, it wasn't really good for precision. My goodness, I just want to get up there. Why give us as a lock? Like, I got up there before to get the thing up, and now I can't get up there. I'm on you. Counter how many times it's going to take me to get up here. Come on out. There we go. No! Oh, come on. I got up there once, and now it won't let me. Curses! Come on. Come on. Up higher. Oh, come on. Alright, well, apparently you can get up there. Now, normally, I think in the context of it all, you're not supposed to get up there by the hook shot. That's meant for that up there, for Pierre to show up and to get you back here. So we're gonna have to come back around once we do that. Oh! I don't know how I got up there the first time, but I fell off because the stupid Octorok kept knocking me off. Ah, well, whatever. Now, technically, I can still come down here and out here without messing with the water and everything to get this chest down here at the very end of the row. Because I've got basically the blue tunic, I'm basically immune to water damage, so I'm not too worried about that. But we gotta open up this chest right here, and it gives another key, I believe. Like, this is like the... It's very rare that you ever grab multiples of a key in a dungeon nowadays. Like, I remember, like, A Link to the Past and previous Zelda games beforehand, that you could collect, like, tons and tons of keys and just use them whenever you wanted. It was, like, I guess to the point of being, like, versatility of the keys. Like, they didn't have, like, the limitation of you can only use them in said, you can only use in said dungeon, you know? It's like, okay. Dang it! Stupid Octorok. I hate this thing. Octorok, can you stop hitting me and take this thing down so I can grab my sticks? Might as well, because Youngling is going to need these for later. Now we've got all the keys that we can potentially get now. Also, the fact that the Master Mode, they basically add so many more, like, key chests and everything. They remix everything to the point where you're taking a different... Oh, man, it's like... I've only really beaten Master Mode only once, and I will probably never ever do it again. Because it was tedious. Maybe that's why the Master Mode... you know, I'm actually shocked that Master Mode was not a thing for Tears of the Kingdom. You think that's the one thing they would have had from the very beginning. So I would love to see people try to beat Ganondorf Master Mode in Tears of the Kingdom. His health... Oh, I just went back outdoors. I'm already being turned around in a dungeon that's not really maze-like. My goodness. I feel like I'm going around in circles. It's this path I need to take over here. That's right. That's right. Let's get our first key over here. Now this temple, or at least mansion, has kind of the... I would say it's probably one of the most unique dungeons in the game. Because this dungeon was also one too that was shown off on trailers and everything. And it was like, it feels like Nintendo was very impressed by this dungeon itself. And I have to agree, as there's a lot of potential like gimmicks that this dungeon has that's nowhere found anywhere else in the game. Like, this is the one that they basically had enough brain power for. There are arrows painted on the ground. Look, Navi, you got hit with the. Oh yeah, we got to push blocks around. Yep, block pushing puzzles. You like block pushing puzzles because basically about most of this dungeon is basically filled to the brim with it. Well, not technically filled to the brim, but the point where it's like you stand and you're like, it's like block pushing puzzles to me are kind of like the game's low denominator. Like, if you can't figure out a unique puzzle, block pushing puzzle. Especially like if you played like Tales of Symphonia, from which I hear is that game is nothing but block pushing puzzles. And I'm like, that feels like kind of like something to be very tedious. Like, very tedious, in fact. And I just, like, man, ugh. If the entire game was like just all block pushing puzzles, I'd be like, no, I am not finishing this game because I am now bored. Like, I can deal the occasional block pushing puzzle, but then there's times where you'll have like games, they'll put like, oh, we're gonna make ourselves look like ice puzzles. To be fair, we just did the ice cavern early, which had a block pushing puzzle in it. So I guess my stigmatism is like, oh, you means you're bored of this game. I just hate it where that's the only puzzle type they can come up with. Like, I'd rather see more a complex puzzle, you know? I know, most adventure games, like, you know, or Zelda-like games, technically, like, you know, Ocean Horn and such, they'll basically just put the whole block pushing puzzle down because that's the lowest common denominator puzzle ever. But, like, this could have been changed to something that was, like, you know, like a Farore's Wind puzzle, you know, like something you had to warp around for. Like, that'd be cool. Like, I think, was there, like, I know there was, like, one Zelda game you had to warp around a place just to get to, I feel like that was a puzzle I'm missing. Or a Zelda game that had basically a warping round puzzle or something like that. Something of that sort. Man, I can't remember the type of life of me. Maybe there is something about it. I don't know. But we also come to an auction that we have these the ice statues here. Oh yeah, also the fact that bubbles here, they're invulnerable to the sword until they are stunned. So you have to stun them first, which is most likely why they drop Deku Nuts. But since the hook shot can stun enemies, because the hook shot in this game is kind of like the Boomerang 2.0. Which means it's useful for not using ammo, and it allows you to basically stun enemies. Also, this is like the coolest thing about the dungeon. This corridor is all twisted, look! Yeah, I know, look at this thing. Only available on the N64 so that you can have environments that would warp. This is the coolest thing about the dungeon. And then we get access to these enemies here, the Wall Masters. These things want to fall down on you very quickly and basically take you to the beginning of the dungeon if loud. So bear that in mind. So now we also see that, or see the Poes here. And they're stuck in paintings. Also, this dungeon is kind of like the remnants of an actual of what Ocarina of Time was initially going to be. Also, we got this here. We got a Stalfos battle here. Hey, Stalfos, how's it going? Hey, buddy. You want to fight me, huh? Come on now, you. You want to hit me? There you go. You're down for the count. I'll take a heart, thank you. This time we have to attack 3 of these bad boys. You have to attack them like nothing else. And they only fight one-on-one. Because the game was only designed for the enemies to fight one-on-one. But you have to kill these guys very quickly in succession. If they don't kill this one in time, the other one will respawn. But basically the Biggoron sword makes tedious work of those guys. Also, we get access to and also look at this chest. This chest is above in the air because this chest is basically too high for Link to get into, so he actually will clip inside of it. I'm surprised that was not gotten by quality. I think it was fixed in 3DS version though. You found the fairy bow. It is literally basically slingshot for adult Link. That's basically about it. It basically acts exactly like the hook, slingshot. Now I'm going to be doing something that's a little controversial. We're actually going to use Farore's Wind for its actual intended purpose. If you use the Farore's Wind in a dungeon, you can warp back to it. Right where it's placed, too. And since we're coming back here, eventually, throughout the dungeon, we might as well put up a waypoint here, so that if we get to a point that, oh, we have to head back here once we get something done here, boom, we can just come back here and bam! We can come back with a key and everything and don't have to go through the tedium.